Welcome to MMA Fancast. It is the week of Brawl in the Berg 10 for 247 Fighting Championships, February 5th at Monroeville Convention Center. And with that in mind, give a big welcome to my next guest, Anthony Morris. Anthony, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, Anthony,
I'm excited to be here.
You are fighting for the first time, your third time, but for the first time for 247. And of course, this is fight week. So how are you doing in fight week of your third fight, but your first fight for 247?
I'm doing real good. Been working on my cardio mostly. That's what I've been focusing on, because that's what's hurt me in my first two fights was cardio. So been focusing a lot on that, been focusing a lot on my boxing. So I'm really excited for this. Most definitely. I love getting in the cage. Even if it's taking an L, I just love getting in the cage. I love training. I'm very excited to stand off with Craig Perry, see where it goes. Hopefully a knockout in my favor. That's what I'm hoping.
I like what you said, that you like the training process. If you don't like the training process, MMA is going to be a tough sport, because you've got to be willing to train and fight. Even like you said, even if it ends up with some losses, it's still good to get in there and test yourself. Now, you're coming in from Ohio to Pittsburgh, so not too far, but what do you feel about coming in from out of state to Pittsburgh for this fight?
I think of, personally, the Cleveland-Pittsburgh rivalry, so I don't expect the hometown fans to be too much in my favor. It definitely, I'm pretty sure Craig's from Pennsylvania, so I don't expect the crowd to be in my favor, but not too worried about it. At least personally, I've kind of felt like I've always been in an underdog situation, even in high school sports, like always going into a new place. And so it don't really mess with my nerves, and I haven't got to personally fight hometown. I've always went somewhere else so far. So sure. It's kind of, it's a normal thing, but hoping to bring Cleveland back to win,
Well, that is kind of fun. Are you following at all the fact that I know it's not Cleveland, but do you have any excitement for Cincinnati getting into the Super Bowl last night? Are you a kind of a secondary fan of the Bengals, even though they're not Cleveland, but they're still from Ohio?
This might kind of upset some of the Cleveland fans. I'm personally not a Browns fan. I do hope them success, but I was a Patriots fan, so so I got Mac Jones now. So that's what but for the Bengals, I always wish success on a younger star, because that's a new era. My era of football players as a kid are retiring. So Joe Burrow's good luck on his new era. Rams, actually, who are they playing? 49ers?
No, it's the Rams. Matthew Stafford in his 13th season. Yep.
Okay, so the Rams is my second favorite team. So hopefully, So hopefully it's a good game. Good defense. Matthew Stafford likes to bomb it. So hopefully a high scoring Super Bowl, always exciting. But underdog for Cincy, that would be great for the city.
Yeah, it would be. At this point, it's going to be exciting for either team, because Matthew Stafford spent over a decade, or right around a decade, at the Lions, being overlooked, and now in his first year, he's kind of doing what your boy Tom Brady did, in the sense of going to a different team and being in the Super Bowl in the first year with a different team. Really kind of shows that Matthew Stafford probably was a better quarterback than his team allowed him to be at the Lions. So it's exciting. When you think about Saturday, you mentioned cardio. How would you know if your cardio, maybe it's kind of a basic question, but how would you know if your cardio is better this fight? So you've had two fights. What would you want to see about the fight Saturday?
Well, I would like to, because I personally go off of personal feel, how my because I kind of train with my coach on a lot of the same things over and over. And so, working on the combo dummy, we make sure that I can go as many minutes as I would in a fight. So 3 3-minute rounds, 9 minutes. Make sure I can throw 100 punches each minute within the, like say so, a round. Hopefully, you know, I'm not throwing 600 punches in a round, but I practice on that so that, as my coach would say, that when I go in there, that it just feels like a breeze. You know, I'm not really ever feeling too much like out of breath or anything like that. And what I hope to go is just kind of how I'm feeling, more strikes my way, because I wasn't as aggressive in my last fight and that I wanted to be. And that was something that I also keyed on in my loss, was that I needed to be more aggressive, throw more shots, work on my combos more, and not be scared to fire, because sometimes in my last fight, I wasn't really throwing to knock them out. But now I've gotten to where that aggression, to be honest, at first, I love fighting, but I don't like hurting people. So I didn't want to hurt my opponent as I thought in my head. And my coach got me as you know, that's not your friend. He trying to hurt you. You got. So I've got my aggression and my mindset as I want to punch through him this time.
Well, it might be good news to you to let you know that your fight is actually a 3 2-minute round and not 3 threes.
Okay.
Yep. So I can tell you that for sure. And that's because there are 3 levels of rule sets in Pennsylvania. There's novice, which is within your first 3 fights, and that counts you. Advanced amateur, which is the 3 minutes in Pennsylvania. And then pro, of course, is the 3-5 that we expect and that we watch in like Bellator, UFC. So you will actually be fighting 3 2-minute rounds. So that may actually be kind of a bump to your cardio. It is interesting.
One thing that where you mentioned the levels is my past fights. Well, my last fight, it was like UFC rules, knee to the head, head kicks, everything. And I know that this is like no kicks to the head and all that. So that takes I just know kicks and everything. Let me tell you, knee to the head, take a lot of breath out of you.
It will. It really does make a difference. What state were you in for your last fight? Was it still Ohio?
I know I fought in Virginia.
I was gonna say, as soon as you started saying that, so just so you know, and you found out the hard way, that's what I was thinking. It was probably Virginia. Virginia doesn't have amateur rules. They call them amateur rules. But the state of Virginia, which is actually a Commonwealth, just like Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth of Virginia says that their amateur rules are pro rules. So that's what you see in the UFC. Pennsylvania is on the other end. So in addition to not being able to kick in the head, you can't knee to the head, you can't elbow to the head, and you can't punch on the ground. You can land punches on the ground if they're below their clavicle collarbone, this part right here. You can punch or knee to the body below that. And you can knee to the body below that as well. And I did actually years ago see a fight, an amateur novice fight stopped with a guy that was in cross body position, and he was kneeing to the body, and it stopped the fight because the fighter got injured from that. But he obviously wasn't targeting the head. So kind of just go
submissions.
Submissions are all allowed. I believe you'd have to ask. You'd have to ask the referee. I believe ankle hooks are not an ankle lock or a heel hook. Either ankle or heel. I don't believe are allowed. You can ask the referee. But yes, there's actually 3 levels. Then the next level is advanced amateur. And advanced amateur means you take off the shin guard. So it looks pro, but there's still no head kicks. There's still no knees or elbows. The only difference is there are closed fists on the ground, which you won't have. But at the advanced amateur in Pennsylvania. So it is something to keep in mind as you fight. Since you are in Ohio, you may want to kind of come over to Pennsylvania a few more times to kind of develop your skills. And even though some people don't like the different rule sets in Pennsylvania, they are designed to let amateurs like yourself get some experience without having to risk getting kneed, like you mentioned, in the face or elbowed in the face, or elbowed on the ground in the face. So it is kind of an interesting thing. We talk about the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania rules quite a bit on this show. You're not the first fighter I've had to kind of clarify. So I'm glad it's a bit of a benefit having fought in Virginia that you now fight in Pennsylvania. And for people that are confused, every state has their own commissioner, and the commissioner sets those rules. So for people that are wondering why you, Anthony, fought under different rules in Virginia, it's because every state or Commonwealth or territory has their own rule set. So what do you want to see in yourself to call it a success Saturday? I mean, that could be a win, that could be something you want to see out of yourself, but coming out of the cage Saturday night, how will you know if it's a success for you?
I mean, definitely a win is a success no matter what. But for myself is to know that I went in there, I was able to go, what is it? Will be 6 minutes now. That I was able to go 6 minutes hard and not feel like you can honestly, as if you watch MMA a lot, you can see desperation, or when somebody is like, they're tired. You can, if you watch UFC, you hear it all the time. He's tired. Like, you can tell by that mouth being wide open. I want to be able to go in there and not be seen like that. Oh, he's tired. Like, I want to be able to go in there and know that I gave my all, that I left it in that cage, that all the work that I've been putting in is leading up to where I want it to be.
I think that right there makes a lot of sense. You're obviously challenging yourself. You started off with 2 L's in your fight career in amateur, but it's all about learning. One of the things that we always talk about amateur records are not really a thing. It's about getting the experience, learning, and clearly you've been making those adjustments. So I'm excited to see what you do. You're going up against Craig Perry, who's also coming off a loss, and both of you guys are trying to figure out sort of what works for you. And I think that's what's exciting about MMA. Not everybody is going to start off their career with 4 or 5 wins right off the bat. It takes a process of learning what works or what doesn't work for you. I appreciate you coming on. Let's end it this way. How about you say a couple shout outs, a couple people for which you're grateful and thankful, whether it be your trainings, your coaches, or even your family or whoever it is, as we head into fight week and for the fight card Saturday.
Okay, shout out first off to my main man, Jesus. I got to always give him praise. I give shout out to my trainer, Henry Flanoy. He's been working me hard. He's been a great coach. Thank you. I want to give a shout out to my family. And shout out to, really honestly, all the people who passed away and didn't get to live their dreams, because that's why I want to live out my dreams, is because there's a lot of people within life who didn't get their chance.
Well, that's a very serious answer, and I'm glad to see your gratitude for your Lord and Savior Jesus, and also the understanding that a lot of lives are cut short and they don't get the opportunity to do what you're doing or really have a more fulfilling life. So I appreciate the seriousness, and gratitude really does make a difference emotionally and spiritually in your life. So I'm happy to have met you. Thanks for taking time out of your busy fight week. I can't wait to see you in action Saturday. And so that's Brawl in the Berg 10 for people who can't make the trip into Pittsburgh. They can do the pay-per-view at 247fighting.com or make the trip in. And I can't wait to see you in action. Thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thank you. You have a nice night.
Have a good one. All right, bye-bye.